What is up, everybody? It's time for the show. Hey, so welcome again to the Wrestle Wire. Uh, kind of week, if you wanted to put it that way. Not really a whole lot going on. Um, there's been some local shows I haven't been involved with anything lately. Just trying to chill, recalibrate, get things lined up the correct way, right? So, to everybody at shows or hosted shows this weekend, best of luck to you. I hope you had a good one. Um, so let's go ahead and just get right into the big leagues, man. Talk about the WWE. Monday Night Raw had a lot of craziness to it, just like it seems the last couple of months in this show have been pretty outstanding, realistically. Now, when you're talking about the whole Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes thing, what's weird is they've been opening the show with these guys and then proceeding further from that. It's as though they're adding to the story as they're going, as opposed to just having uh, a continual storyline rolling, which makes it weird. But it's working. It's adding fuel to the fire. It's adding to the product. So I mean, Cody's been gone for how long? 6 years, and he got thrown right in there with one of the top tier guys in WWE, essentially in what could be a main event or close to main event spot. So it's just awesome the way that they're doing it. They're using multiple segments to try to catch up on exposure and build further into the product. So it's pretty awesome in my book. You had Sasha and Naomi defeat Rhea and Liv Morgan. The match really could have gone better, but in my estimation, considering they weren't going to go forward with Liv Morgan getting a strap put on her yet, which is dumb in my book. It was perfect time for a good heel turn for Rhea. Um, the way I see it going in the long term is this: um, Ronda Rousey's going to win the title. Rhea Ripley's going to be her challenger. That's how I see it because there's nobody more credible right now than a Rhea Ripley on the roster, on any roster. Um, so I really feel like she's going to be utilized for that. And that's going to be awesome. Um, and guys, feel free to comment, hit that like, share, subscribe, all that jazz. Thank you for doing so. If you do, um, you know, so it's okay. Sasha and Naomi carrying these titles for now. There's really nothing else for them. So it makes a lot of sense to utilize your talent where you have it. And the way the WWE is currently using their talent works pretty well. I hear a lot of people saying that they don't know how to build stars. I see interchangeable main events left and right. Orton, McIntyre, Reigns, Rollins, Owens. There's a million of them out there that could just jump instantly into a title picture, and it's not that hard. Now, if you want to talk new guys that could be doing it, Riddle, you could always rely on Lashley. There's Jesus, this thing is going crazy. Um, you could have so many people interchange in. There's probably 10 to 15 I could see being in the main event with no problem with Roman, and being able to get stuff done. Now, when you're talking about on the women's side, it's a little less flooded, but the way I look at it is like this: Rhea's there, Becky's there, Liv is there, Charlotte's there, um, Bianca's there. We can keep naming more names. Dewdrop could be utilized. Selena Vega could have a gripe. Um, Natalia's still there. Natalia's been there for like 20 years. She's first ballot Hall of Famer in my book. She's a phenomenal worker. She's a great wrestler. Shayna Baszler could be utilized in the title picture as well. There's way more out there than people want to give credit for that could be utilized in a main event, but it's building to that and then striking while the iron's hot. I will bring up that striking while the iron's hot statement here shortly when I speak about AEW. Because they have the opportunity. Let's see if they move forward with it. And a lot of people don't have trust me, you don't have to agree with what I say. But if you have an argument, I'd love to hear it in the comments section. Hell, if your argument's good enough, I might even bring you on air and let you tell me to my face why I'm wrong. Those are always real fun too. I love that stuff. Um, but so now you got Bianca and Sonya Deville. I don't agree with this at all. I don't like the way they're portraying Sonya as having to utilize a pen. The pen is mightier than the sword. Is that the storyline for this one? In my book, this is a weak shot, but it is what it is. It's a filler to get them to Cardiff. So I think that would be cool. Now, reality is Paige is medically cleared and we're going to the UK. Could we get Paige back in a ring? Could the world be happy with that? Because I would be happy with that. Paige was safe. She was fun to watch. I've watched her since NXT, and I've always thought she was a great worker. So yeah, it's just another thing to bring in. Veer Mahan defeating Jeff Brooks. Squash match. Oh, enhancement match. I'm sorry, enhancement match. That's what that was. Uh, the Street Profits defeated RK Bro. That was ridiculous. Having having your champs lose, I get it. You need formidable opponents, and while I do feel like Montez and Dawkins are due, I think they're going to get it. If they don't get it at the next pay per view, they'll get it in the UK. I just kind of feel like that's the way it's going. Um, Theory defeating Finn Balor. A lot of people crapped on this because it's Finn Balor, and there's another guy that could instantly be in the main event. He doesn't need to be the demon to beat Roman. Let's just be clear on that. Anything you can do storyline makes sense, and if you can make it make sense, it works out. Not everybody agrees with that, but I'm one of those people where it's got to be believable to an extent, but it also has to make sense. Um, Rey Mysterio could beat anybody essentially if you wanted to put it that way, but you have to have it make sense in the manner that he wins. In a straight up fist fight, yeah, no. But in a wrestling match where some rules are bent or broken or whatever, logic goes out the window a bit, right? Roman doesn't need the title to go against The Rock to beat The Rock. In my book, that's a waste of the title because right now I feel like Roman's bigger than the title. That's a big problem. Roman being bigger than the world championship. Um, it it's helping the title because he's making the title more relevant than it's been, as I've said in the past. I think this is the hottest it's been since the days of Cena and Punk in them. The title means more now than it has in the last several reigns of anybody. Um, the double commitment ceremony thing was just absolutely stupid. But back to Theory and Balor, congrats to Theory on that. That's cool that he's finally holding gold for the first time, and the U.S. title is a fine title for the guy to hold to try to get into, especially with them doing what they're doing with the heavyweight. Now you need to put the universal title at the top of the show. That needs to be the main event on each show, unless you're going to have the heavyweight title defended, which you're not. So far, they're not showing any signs of slowing down on this. So I'm all about it. You're going to make the Intercontinental title worth more, and you're going to make the U.S. title worth way more. They're going to be the respected show championships, and then the overall title will be a pay per view exclusive thing. Pay more money to see the big guys work. That's the idea here. Cody Rhodes defeats Kevin Owens because Kevin Owens walked out. I don't like that finish, but it makes sense. Kevin Owens living to fight another day, and that just means we're going to get another shot at it. Um, NXT, we were doing a show during NXT, so obviously I didn't watch it real time. Um, I find it funny that the team I thought should have walked away with the title is now starting the show off with a microphone. You got Drake and Gibson talking trash to Pretty Deadly. I realistically believe that Drake and Gibson are the better tag team. The Grizzled Young Veterans are awesome. they are one of the best tag teams to watch. So was Imperium, which I'm not thrilled about that split. But that, that could all change. That could all change still. And I'm hoping it does. Uh, Braun Breaker going on the hunt for Joe Gacy, whatever. Tiffany Stratton defeating Saray. Yet again, Saray is polished, very polished. She's a great worker. However, Stratton is getting there. And I do see a lot of potential in Tiffany Stratton. I think the WWE sees it as well, which is why they have her there. Um, Grayson Waller defeating Sanga. What? Why? That it's one of those things where are you gonna push Waller now? Because if you're gonna push him, okay, but having him beat this dude who's huge, a monster, it kind of seems like you're almost making the monster irrelevant now. It's really weird to me. Um, Legado del Fantasma defeating Drake and Gibson never should have happened. But if they're, I guess their goal is to try to get the GYV as faces. So if that's the direction it's going, is that they're going to be babies, that's cool. Uh, they're great workers and they're killer on the mic. And I really think that they could get the crowd behind them. So, I mean, more power to them. Carmelo Hayes defeating Santos Escobar. I never would have predicted that to happen in my life. It's cool that it did. I like Carmelo Hayes. And I mean, Santos Escobar is bar none a great talent. I believe like him and Andrade are on that same level of how good they are. So that's really good work. Natalia defeating Tatum Paxley. Dude, I didn't even know who that was. So I'm sitting there like, who the hell is Natalia kicking the shit? Why does she have an enhancement match? Like it makes no sense to me. But okay. Zion Quinn defeating Wesley. I am so lost now about what they're going to do with Wesley because I've got no idea how you proceed forward after what occurred with Nash and his wife and all that ex-wife and all that shit. It's crazy. I'm just not into it. Um, and it's a bunch of he said, she said. Nobody really knows the truth, but it was smart of WWE to do what they did to distance themselves until they can figure out what's going on. Realistically, if the kid ends up cleared because it wasn't a sexual assault allegation, I really believe that they could just pick him right back up and it'd be water under the bridge. Um, Roxanne Perez defeating Lacey Jane or JC Jane, excuse me. Man, so is Roxanne Perez, is that Roxy? I guess that's what they're calling her now. That's cool. But she's another hell of a worker. Former Ring of Honor Women's Champion. Dropped it to Deanna Prazo a while back, and right after she did, all of us were like, "Yep, Roxy heading to NXT. It's a done deal. Hang it up." Um, Pretty Deadly defeating Loomis and Hudson makes no sense. Like I don't understand the match. I don't understand why this match was even a thing. Um, I like Dexter Loomis, dude. I think dude could be main event. I really do. Not right now, but I feel like he could be in the main event. He's a phenomenal worker. Here's what's funny. Joe Gacy gave Braun Breaker the Hall of Fame ring in exchange for a title match. Like, dude, okay. I still don't see Joe Gacy taking the strap from Braun Breaker, but if it does, that's all right. The dude can work, but I mean, is he the guy you want to hitch your wagon to? Is he going to be your rating straw? I don't know. But Braun chasing as a face, that works for good storyline, but why? I just don't understand why, man. Make it make sense. Give me something to invest in, as my buddy Scott Larson from the hashtag Truth says. And talking about AEW Dynamite. Yet again, I tuned into the show a little bit late, but I, caught it on DVR. I mentioned AEW and the follower count dropped significantly. That's horrifying. But it's weird because it goes hand in hand with their ratings, which also drop for some reason. So it's weird, man. They opened it up with CM Punk and Dustin Rhodes. Really good match. All right, anybody taking anything away from them two is just stupid. Um, the fact that uh, you know, Punk got over, uh, and Dustin got over with the crowd. The crowd loved it. That's all that really matters, man. Now, what's fun here is after the match. Punk's walking up, and out comes Paige. I think this is to where it needs to go. I really do believe that Punk is the rightful person to carry that company on his back to get it up another level. A lot of people are going to disagree with this, but right now, that company needs a champion that's a draw. And it's proven CM Punk is still that draw. He was a draw in his first match on the pay per view. He was a draw in the UFC. He was a draw in the WWE. He was a draw as a rumor to return at Rampage that night. He's a draw. So Tony Khan will never live up to that surprise again. I really don't think he will. Of course, Wardlow shows up, and they're trying to get the security involved for that. Waste of time. Trios match. Are they going to do trios titles, or is this another, like, we're going to make you wait until you no longer care, then do it? Because that seems to be what's happening here. Now, you know damn well Blackpool Combat Club going up against Dante Martin, Lee Moriarty, and Brock Anderson. Like, did anybody have a feeling that the BCC was going to lose? Because I didn't. But either way, they won the match. Brandon Cutler backstage with the Bucks, Red Dragon, and Adam Cole. Their normal spiel. I'm almost over it. It's like, go ahead and do Undisputed Elite and the Elite, and then that clash will occur because it's going to be Cole and Cole and Red Dragon versus Kenny and the Bucks, and Kenny and the Bucks are going to just eventually, shortly shift into production roles. These guys have. I'm not a Bucks fan anyway. Kenny Omega's pretty cool to watch from time to time. I get I understand the hype from him, but I still believe he's one of the more overhyped indie darlings of professional wrestling. But that's just me. Um, Another monumental announcement. So now they're doing the dual show. Great. You have to team up with another company to sell out a stadium. It's not the greatest thing for your company when it shows you're having to rely on somebody else's name as well to get there. Uh, let's be clear about this. The WWE just did WrestleMania, 77,000 each night, whatever. Yeah, AEW is, oh, we're real pro wrestling. We're real competition. You're too scared to do a stadium show on your own. That's not real. That's real scared. That's what that is. Uh, all the power in the world to him, man. Best of luck in your endeavors, bud, because I want to see a good show. I don't give a shit who produces it. That's like local stuff. I don't care who puts on the show, whether I work for you or not, whether I promote you or not, whether I like you or not, is irrelevant. Put on a good show because the more fans on one, the more fans overall. If you don't have people leaving there talking about, oh man, did you see that? Were you there? Did you watch it on pay per view? Dude, you missed a great show. You need to go pay now to watch it from beforehand, or go look it up online. But you don't want to miss that next one. That's the locker room. That's the what they call it, the coffee. Break talk. That's the water cooler chat. They need to get all that in there, and they're not getting it. They have got zero buzz in my book. Their buzz on the media is weak as hell. Their social media following doesn't help. They're predominantly a bunch of toxic trolls, and nobody even wants to interact or talk with these freaking people. I have no desire to talk with them on social media. If I make a pro AEW post, a picture or a meme or anything that I make is pro AEW, I get 5% of what I would get if I made a pro WWE or bashing WWE post. I get way more when it says WWE. I get more out of it. When it says AEW, it doesn't matter if I'm pro it or bashing it. I don't get 5% of what I get half the other time. Um, the Nikita Lyons and what was that other girl? Shit, I made a meme a couple weeks back, and it was like the match we need for science. Dude, that thing took off. It was on Twitter, had like 5,000 retweets from uh, all these different wrestling pages. It was on every single Facebook page I follow, and I didn't put it there. I put it on my personal page, my Saint page, and TRWC. But that Joker was all over every wrestling thing I've seen. It was everywhere. I was like, that was a good one because it caught like wildfire. Man, who was in that picture? Because it was another thick chick, just like her. I can't think of who it was. Nikita Lyons and somebody. Somebody, if you're out there, I'm looking it up. Just remember who it was. Oh, it was Gigi Dolan. That's who it was. So you mean to tell me Gigi Dolan and Nikita are way more traffic happy than anything AEW does? Give me a break. That's not a good sign. That's not a good sign. Not at all. The Butcher versus Wardlow. Who gave a damn? Wardlow, of course, won this, and it's going to continue to go this way until we end up with MJF and Wardlow. One thing I've noticed is a lot of people talk about how great Wardlow is. Have you noticed that you don't see that guy wrestle very much? It's almost like they're trying to make it special when he does wrestle. That's just one of those things, guys. They AEW's got some stuff that I agree with, but I don't want to hear how great that dude is or anybody compare him to the Miz when the Miz wrestles 10 times as much as he did. Um, and there's another guy, longevity. One big injury in his whole career. She's sell me down the river. Dude's a hell of a. He's not a great worker, but he's a good hand. He's consistent. He's solid. You can't beat that. Um, Not for the price tag. You can't beat guys like that. He's worth his weight in gold. Eddie Kingston challenges Daniel Garcia to a match at Rampage where everybody's banned from ringside. Here's the kicker. I'm still banking on Eddie and Jericho's feud is going to end the same time Punk wins the world title. Punk will drop the belt to Eddie. Anti-hero versus anti-hero is just as good as face versus baby. Anti-hero, anti-hero. That's the way I see that going. And Eddie's going to take the strap from Punk. I'm seeing it, man. I can see it right here. AEW is going to put the belt on the man, and I'm going to get me 2 cigars, one from Brino Royce and one from Christopher Burton from the People's Podcaster from the Straight Up Wrestling Show. Can't wait for it. I'm going to smoke them just like I stole them, guys. They're going to be good. I appreciate y'all. Um, Owen Hart, tournament qualifier. Uh, Jungle Boy versus Kyle O'Reilly. Dude, these guys are so fast and so good in the ring. It's a fun match to watch. Of course, O'Reilly gets over, and that's great. I don't expect Jungle Boy to do all that much in a singles run other than TNT champ. Him and Darby could have some fun matches. Him and Sammy could have some fun matches. That I see the match potential. I don't see him challenging CM Punk for a world title. I don't. I mean, yeah, he could. I don't. I just don't see it. I could be wrong. If anybody out there, I got plenty of people watching now. If any of you guys see anything I don't see, please tell me because I'm lost in the sauce here on this one. Hook finally debuts on Dynamite against Anthony Henry. Who? I don't even know all these people anymore. I don't understand. Now we're gonna get Danhausen versus Hook. His first match is gonna be a loss. I don't get it. There's just some weird stuff with the way they're booking this guy. I don't understand. Hook's fine to watch. He's a talented young athlete. Hook versus Jungle Boy would be money. Hook versus Sammy Guevara would be a good match. You know, guys with similar builds make good matches. When you have bipolar opposites, sometimes you get magic. Sometimes you get lightning in a bottle. Uh, Balor and Brock was a really fun match. I really enjoyed it, and so did a lot of people out there. But not everybody's like me, and not everybody enjoys the same thing I enjoy. Oh shit! Comments rolling in. Who we got? Danhausen is amazing. Hausen. Okay, dude. I saw some videos, and he looks like he's a fun guy to watch. Not everything's got to be serious, serious competition. I agree with that. Hence the reason I even said Orange Cassidy. They struck when the iron was hot with Cassidy and put him in a main event match with Kenny Omega, and it was a really good match. Not a lot of people out there like Orange Cassidy. I think he's entertaining. Entertaining. Does that mean he's a great wrestler and by golly, him and Bret Hart would tear it up? No, no, but he's entertaining. I don't believe that Roman Reigns and Bret Hart would have a great match with each other. Austin and Hart had a great match with each other. I don't think that Reigns and Austin would have that great of a match because their chemistries don't line up. It's lightning in a bottle, man. It's chemical reaction. Bret Hart ain't even the best Hart. Who? Then I want to know who. Come on, dude. Tell me who. Who's the best Hart? Because I like Natalia. I think Owen was a better wrestler. I think Owen was more entertaining than Bret. Um, but that's me. I think Owen was better. Realistically, I feel that Vince McMahon should have put the strap on him after Mania 11. Not at Mania 11, after Mania 11. Like that SummerSlam match that they had was really damn good. Oh man. See? Look, Owen. So yeah, you and I agree on that. Um dude, I don't like how undervalued people look at Natalia. People look at Natalia like she's just some person. No, dude, Natalia is amazing, and Natalia is such a great worker, and I just really feel she deserves better. Um, I guess. Frankie Kazarian and Scorpio Sky are going to start working back together. Oh no, you're good, dude. You're good. You're good. I guess that they're trying to work Scorpio Sky and Frankie Kazarian back together, which is just odd. Where's Christopher Daniels in all this? Because that should be there. Um, back back to AEW after this paid programming. My phone didn't go. I didn't get paid for this. What are you talking about? You know? Don't talk about money. There's no money here. Uh, TNT champion Sammy Guevara comes out with Takati. So I guess they're just talking about all the stuff that they got going on. So now what are we getting in a ladder match? We're getting Ethan Page and Sammy Guevara. Okay, um, I guess that'll be fun. But reality is, Ethan Page is a far better wrestler than Sammy Guevara. Is he as entertaining? No, not really. Not now. Not right now. But can he be? Yeah, he can be. Um, Britt, Britt Baker in a enhancement match, as we'll call it here, uh, against Danielle Kamala. Okay, sure. Now it's coffin match time. So the coolest thing about this, obviously, Darby won. The match wasn't bad, but what was cool was after the match on social media, those two both gave each other their props. That's a big deal. To me, that's a huge thing. I'm happier that that occurred than BSing and making excuses and things like that. I'm not all about it. So, it is what it is, but I do I like the antagonistic points, but at times you got to be able to show respect. And that's where it's at. Here comes a huge point. Shane Dorr, by the way, Shane Dorr, owner, Palmetto Championship Wrestling, and they put on a fantastic show. We will see you May the 7th. So, I think Tony needs some help in the production slash agenting aspect. It's way past time. Need to just tighten the knot on the loose ends, and it'll help tremendously. Hey, look, a lot of us have been saying the same thing. Pretty much every podcast says the same thing. They need help with something. Um, their production isn't as bad as WCW's was, but it needs polishing. You're right there. Agenting, that's match production, right? They got some stuff to clean up there as well. But realistically, in my book, I think booking needs help. I think how they're booked and how they book the talent needs a. There's a lot to do that. Oh, they picked up Pat Buck. Of course, he just left WWE. They would pick him up. Yeah, that makes sense. It seems like that's what they're doing. The WWE has a, you know, this real wide net, and they're just letting people out of it. And underneath of them, here's this real tight net catching all the debris that falls away from WWE. That seems to be kind of what AEW is doing. And hey, look, if it works, by all means, boo boo, do your thing. I don't see it. Um, I don't see it as it's working. My big thought and theory here is that AEW doesn't have a main event talent draw, a main event level draw, somebody that if we saw on a poster or a billboard or a sign on 85 or, name and lights on the marquee, I don't see a name there that they're using that's going to bring asses in seats or that's going to generate pay-per-view buys or that's going to make me want to tune in religiously. I don't see it. They don't have it in my book. They don't have one that they're utilizing. Do they have talent that could be that? Of course they do. They've got Punk. They've got Jericho. They've got Bryan. They've got Omega. They've got Danielson and Moxley. All those guys are marquee draws in my book. They're not using them as marquee draws at all. Not yet, at least. If they start doing that, I feel it's going to be better for the company. Reality is, I think that CM Punk could do a much better job of helping with the booking and production because he sat under the learning tree of Paul Heyman, who, whether anybody wants to own up to it or not, has one of the most brilliant minds in the professional wrestling industry where his last name is not McMahon. That's reality. Another person that you can add to that list is Raven. Raven had a great mind for the business, very underutilized in my opinion by everybody he's ever worked for. Other than the last thing he did that was great was in Ring of Honor. His podcast is all over the place. I don't know if you guys have ever heard it, but if y'all think I'm insane or I'm crazy or I talk dirty, that dude talks some whack shit. But it's entertainment. It's fun. And that's the thing. Not everything's got to be dead serious and wrist locks and hip locks and hip tosses and all this. It ain't got to be all that. It doesn't. You think Mike Tyson's going to do any of that? No. He's going to get in there, throw to right. Everybody's going to cheer, and that's going to be the game. We're going home. You think Austin's going to get up there and do a Hurricane Rana? No, he's going to hit the stunner, smash some beers, and we're all going to cheer and go nuts. You're going to see Punk do a Hurricane Rana, and you're going to see him do it off the top rope. You're going to see him do the Pepsi plunge. You're going to see him do the Anaconda Vice. You're going to see him do the go to sleep. You're going to see all these things out of a Punk or Daniel Bryan. You're going to see great shit at it. You're going to see it. You're going to see some stuff out of Dean Ambrose, John Moxley. Excuse me, whatever. You're going to see that. but it doesn't do any good if they're not on the marquee. If they're not in the main event, nobody really cares because you're not. It's not building the anticipation to get to them. If you keep putting Punk on first, hell yeah, hey, I got my Punk fix. I'm good. I can turn this off now. I don't have to keep watching. I got what I wanted out of the show already. Put Punk on the main event. You don't know when the main event's going to start. You're gonna stay tuned into that show. Same with Daniel Bryan. To me, it's really not hard. The guys that put title matches on in the beginning of a show, okay, I get it. Especially if you got one title and another title that are both equally up there, like WWE was doing with the Universal at one end and the WWE title at the other end. Perfect sense. Makes sense. Okay, I get it. But not as just a straight up match. And like I said, hey, look, here we go. I get the reasoning behind it, but he's the wrong one to use. Exactly. They're trying to pop ratings in the beginning of the show. The problem is the show ratings tank after that. If you look at the analytics, there's a dude, Brandon something or other on Twitter, who's got this down to a science, and his analytics track, and you can see it. You can see the segments shifted. It's crazy when you can see individual segments shifting the show instead of overall production shifting the show, which is what happens more so on the WWE as more of a cascade flow, whereas the AEW shows are heart rate monitors. It's just weird looking. CM Punk and Bryan are their guys. They need to be in the lights. I just said this. I'm not in the business like that. And I just said the same thing. So I mean, I must have some sort of mindset that makes sense for this, right? Oh man. Going back to the WWE for Friday Night SmackDown. So look, actually, I completely skipped Impact, but that's because Impact had a show last night, and I'm gonna touch on two things there that make a lot of sense. Man, all right. Contract signings always end in chaos. Cool. I was glad to see Charlotte get hers. I was glad to see Ronda get some. And I find it funny that they took Gulak out of a wrestling role to have him get his butt handed to him in a producer role or interviewer role. That's cool because the guy's good at taking bumps. I mean, he's been a wrestler for like a decade. So he's got to be good at getting his ass kicked. So it makes sense. It worked. The whole thing with Butch and the whole thing with Butch and Woods is kind of nuts to me. Look, Xavier's a good wrestler, but anybody discrediting Pete Dunne, you're out of your mind. Pete Dunne's a phenomenal worker. I really enjoy that dude's work. Just yet again, dude's a great worker. I love watching him work. But it wasn't a bad match. It was kind of a cool. I actually like the finish, the way it ended. The weird suplex springboard into a roll up was a nice touch. It was pretty cool. Um, Walter with a Gunther with a enhancement match. Okay, sure. Riddle defeating Jey Uso, great match. This was match of the night in my book. I had a great time watching that. Um, Natalia and Baszler interrupting Banks and Naomi. Are they trying to push Banks and Naomi as faces at this point? Because if they are, that's not. It's kind of taking off, I guess, but I didn't feel like it was working in the beginning. But having Natalia as a heel with Shayna, I can dig it. And I mean, Shayna's just chilling. She's just doing her job, collecting her check. Hey, look, it's no different than what we do on a day to day, guys. Madcap Moss defeating Angel Garza. Can we just get rid of Madcap and just go with Moss? Can we also get him to get rid of the suspenders? He's stealing my gimmick, and I'm gonna sue for gimmick infringement. That's copyrighted, Jack. Okay, that's my look. Um, especially if he adds a bow tie. Oh, it's over. I'm filing paperwork tomorrow. Um, Lumberjack match. This was a waste. Ended in a no contest. Sami Zayn runs away. But yet again, did you notice how we didn't go straight into a steel cage match? It's been building and building and building for weeks. Long term storytelling, good booking. I'm not against this. Drew McIntyre is going to move on from Sami Zayn after next week. Next week, we're getting a steel cage match on TV. How awesome is that? I'm all about that. Moving on to Rampage. So, Rampage actually aired before SmackDown, but my bad, I forgot the order of shows because I've been pretty busy today. I actually legitimately, I still got some trash on me from earlier. I had to pull some maintenance on a piece of equipment, and I legit came home, got a shower, and am now sitting before you. So, um, Owen Hart qualifying match: Adam Cole versus Tomohiro. We're just gonna go with Tomohiro. We're not gonna try to even do the rest of this Ishii, maybe Aishi. I don't know. I don't want to butcher the guy's name, so I don't want to try. Um, of course you got that. Now you got Switchblade Jay White coming out. It's like, dude, give me a break. There is so much going on. I hate the run-ins. I hate the run-ins. The run-ins get, it gives me the runs because that's all it is. It's constant crap every time. Why can't they get away from having the nonstop run-ins in a show? AEW butchers this to death. If I go to an indie show and every match is in a run-in, I'm probably not going to care about that show anymore. I also, it just drives me nuts. Murder Hawk Monster, Lance Archer versus Serpentico. Archer wins. I guess we're going to be lining up Archer versus Wardlow because they're now doing Choke Slam Symphony against Powerbomb Symphony. I guess this is where it's going. I don't know, dude. Eh, it's got to make sense. Give me something to invest in, said Scott, and it's got to make sense, said me. Kingston and Garcia. Look, said it before. I'm going to say it again. Kingston is going to win the world title at AEW in the next couple of months now. It's not even the next 2 years because I still got a good year and a half on this. But I'm betting I'm really close to saying this is within the next 6 months. This is going to happen. I can't wait for it to happen. It's going to be really cool. Um. Oh, there's a side note I got to get into in a minute. I'll get there. Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland, I guess, are working together as a tag team now. So that's going to be their direction moving forward. Okay. I liked each of them better as singles competitors. Realistically, Keith Lee should be in the main event. There's another guy. You got Daniel Bryan, Keith Lee, John Mox. You got Mox, Punk, Jericho, Eddie Kingston's right there on the cusp. With, in my book, Kingston and Keith Lee could be a great match. Hell, Keith Lee may be the one who dethrones Eddie Kingston for the title. But I mean, we're getting Cesaro here soon, so there's another guy that you can add to that list. He's already changed his name on his social media, so Claudio Castiglione or whatever the hell his name is coming soon to the AEWs. I doubt he shows back up in Ring of Honor, but yet again, that's a possibility. Speaking of Ring of Honor, why are we getting reruns on Sinclair? Who gives a damn about reruns? I want fresh content. If you're going to run it, if you're going to own it, give me something new. Main event time. It's time for the main event. Here we go. As who said it? Mark Henry did it this time? Yeah, man. So here we go. Jade Cargill versus the problem, Marina Shafir. Realistically, Marina Shafir should have been the one to dethrone Jade Cargill. If you're not going to put her up there against Thunder Rosa, she should be the one to dethrone her. Because how are you going to say that she can't win the mid card title, but then you're going to put her up in the main event title picture? Because that girl can work really well. Yet again, you're missing me on where you're placing people. I don't understand it. Not everything. there's too many loose ends that don't make sense there with AEW. Just like Shane spoke earlier. Um, I find it really funny how they're doing with this. What I can't wait to get into is, SummerSlam's coming to Nashville, man, and tickets already went on sale. I looked at ticket prices; they're not terrible. Unfortunately, I'll have just come back from vacation and worked a wrestling show. I'm going to be dead that next week. I don't know if I'll have it in me to go to SummerSlam, but that would be a fun show to go to. Um, the problem with SummerSlam or whatever like that is they got that whole week blocked off, and if I do SummerSlam or I do WrestleMania, I'm gonna do the whole week thing. Like I'm gonna be there the week, and I'm doing the whole spiel, man. Like that's what I want to do. I don't want to just go for the show. No, 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 no. This is a whole week of this is what we're doing, and I want to attend all the events that I can. I could, whether or not I go to any of the little other indie shows or whatever. But if there's like conventions or meet and greets or whatever, hell yeah, let me in. Couple bucks, I'm in. Let's go. Let's do it. That'll be fun. That's just how I feel. Let's see here, but that's your week in pro wrestling right there laid out. Um, you know, we're coming up on the 29th. I got a show right here in Packlet, South Carolina with his pro wrestling. Um, can't wait for that. That's going to be a good time as always. That's another thing I want to get into about especially indie shows. Whether the show production is good or not, whether it looks like a train wreck or not, as far as the appearance overall of the venue and all that, doesn't change what happens in the ring. Because if the action in the ring is good, you could be in a barn and do fine. You know, literally, some places were running holes in the wall with holes in the floor. The building was condemned, but they drew crowds because the action in the ring was there. Now, another big thing that people need to keep in their minds, especially in the local scene, is this. Just because your crowd is full, don't mean that they all paid to get in. Drawing a crowd, drawing money are two different things. So that's kind of where I want to see people's real numbers. I don't want to see your attendance numbers. I want to see how many tickets you sold. Because selling tickets is where it's at. Especially you got sponsors. If y'all are making money, you're making money. That's great. But if you're making money because you're canteen and not because of what's going on in the ring or because of how many people came through the door, you got a problem. But that's just my opinion. Um, and hell, there's a reason I don't attend every show. There's a reason I'm not invited to go everywhere because I'm real. And some people like reality. Some people like honesty. Not everybody does. I'm called an asshole all the time because I'm honest to a fault. I'm brutally honest. I got no problem with it, with telling anybody exactly, what it is, how I feel, or, what I think. If you're dumb enough to ask me, you're dumb enough to get my answer. That's the way I see it. Um, I don't openly inflect or inject my opinions on people and stuff. If I'm asked a question, I write things down in my book, or here you go. This is what I think. Or if somebody says, "Hey man, what'd you think?" I liked this, this, and this. What's the negative? I don't know. Did you feel anything negative? I let somebody else dictate to me what they thought was not good. That way they can bounce it off of me, and it's coming from them instead of me. And then I just reflect back with, well, and maybe a tweak here, an improvement there, but other than that, it's fine. If the crowd doesn't know it was a mistake, nobody knows it was a mistake except you in the back. Don't be mad in front of the crowd because then you're showing and telling. Go to the back and then air out your grievances, and then nobody knows the damn thing. It makes life so much better. But anyway, so like I said, we got April 29th, his Pro Wrestling Packlet, South Carolina. Following weekend, May the 6th, we are going to be in Union, South Carolina, Pro Wrestling Unions Mayhem. Main event featuring J.D. Drake. That's right. The blue collar badass himself from the Workhorseman from AEW is going to be in the ring going up against Chase Emery. That's going to be a great match. I don't care what anybody says. JD Drake is a great worker. I can't wait to meet the guy. Um, Cole Maccabee is doing some beautiful work with Pro Wrestling Union, and you can't deny it because everybody sees it and everybody's talking about it. It's awesome. Uh, May the 7th, two shows happening on May the 7th. Um, Heroes to Legends in Silva, North Carolina, or Sylvia, whatever. North Carolina. Um, they're having a show. Here's Legend. That's Randy Wayne and them. The Outlaw Randy Wayne's going to be up there. I think JD Drake's going to be up there. I'm not a. I think they're in a tag team match, either against the New Age Villains or somebody else. And that's going to be a just amazing match. Oh, speaking of Pro Wrestling Union's thing on the 6th, Mayhem, you got a Texas Bull Rope match between Randy Wayne and Antonio Morgan, and that's going to be nuts. Two big brute bastards going after each other. Get at it, dog. I can't wait to see that. That's going to be nasty. That's going to be cool. Now, I don't even know who else is in action. Oh, Casey Fox is going to be wrestling. I can't remember the name of the woman she's wrestling. However, I know it's the first women's wrestling match for Pro Wrestling Union, and that's good stuff right there. I'm ecstatic for that. Can't wait to see these young ladies tear it up. Um, let's see here. I don't remember what else is going on with the card with Randy Wayne's card. The video he sent me is a good video. Yes, great video. I can't air it because of copyright music things, and I don't want to get kicked off of here and fuss that onto YouTube. I'm going to see if I can pull something out of my hat with that. Let me see. I believe I've still got it, and we'll air that here in just a moment. Um, oh yeah, I still need to touch on Impact. Congrats to Josh Alexander for finally beating Moose. That's great. I'm ecstatic for that dude because God, the Moose title reign was abysmal, but he did good work. He really did. Um, and anybody who doesn't believe that, you're out of your mind. Let's see here. What the hell is going on here? Checking to see if I've got that video pulled up. Here it is. I'm gonna mute it when I full screen it. And what we'll do is we will share the screen and give it a look. And here we go. There we are, man. John Schuyler, Chase Emery, Koloff, the Bible Club, DH and HD, Drew Hood, Crucifix, K Holiday, that's uh that's the Heat Seekers right there versus JD Drake. That's the Bible Club. There's Lodi. That's the foundation. That's who that is. Like I said, guys, I just can't play the music. My bad. That's gonna be a hell of a show right there, man. Really can't complain. Cannot complain at all. But that's gonna be a great show on May the 7th. Now, uh, the other show, May the 7th, is of course Palmetto Championship Wrestling with Shane Dorr and them down there in Columbia, South Carolina. Now, uh, I was informed by my wife that we have to take our daughter to the Columbia show. So, but I already spoke with Cole, and I haven't got a chance to talk to Randy yet. When I get a chance to talk to Randy, I'll talk to Randy. But I know they're gonna have another H2L show coming up in October, and I'm already penciling that one in. I've already, that's done deal. I'm gonna be there. I've got to talk to my daughter if she wants to go see the show in North Carolina in Marion, which is June 18th, her birthday weekend. I got to figure out if that's what she wants to do. That's going to be HVW's Arrival. If you don't know what I'm talking about, be sure you check out Mr. Tom Clark of Tom Clark's Main Event. Phenomenal podcast. He goes an hour. Normally on Friday. It's also this weekend. It was on Saturday. But Tom Clark's Main Event, great dude. He's been on the Roundtable Rumble with us. We have where we bring in all the podcasters. He has former wrestler Viper, Mr. Benfield, that Gary Benfield, as he's the promoter. So they come on and they talk all these different unveilings that have been going on. And if they have got some stuff lined up for this, dude, I can't wait. There's gonna be some good stuff there. Um, John Schuyler versus JD Drake is the main event. Second main event is Randy Wayne and Ken Magnum, and they are going to be in a Logan Street strap match. That's going to be nuts. Now I don't know much else about the rest of the card because I'm not all that familiar with the rest of the teams. It's the White Claw Outlaws versus the New Age Villains. I don't really know either of those teams, but okay, I'm in. I want to see this. I do know we're going to get the superior Jake Jacobs versus John Matthews. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Jake Jacobs is a consummate professional. I've seen him work every place, almost every place I've been, he's been. So I know he's a great worker. John Matthews, I've seen that kid wrestle probably 5 times or so. And every time I see him, the dude improves. I know he's putting his work in the gym. I know he's training his butt off. I just want to see a good match between both of them. The end of the line is they both have love for this business, and the fans all love them. So I really think that's going to be just a good, respectful wrestling match. I think that has all the ingredients in my book to steal the show. And anybody who doesn't agree, you don't have to. The comment section's right there. Feel free to say it. Um, let's see what we got going on. But long and the short of it is, man, there's a bunch of great shows coming up. I know that there is. Um, I know there's another show coming up in July that's also going to be a rock concert involved. Going to be a very fun time. That is July the 23rd, and that is um, in Welford at the Welford Pavilion. Anybody wanting to find out more information on that, please check out AWL. That's American Wrestling League on Facebook. They also on Twitter, I think, and other platforms, but definitely check them out. Promoter Jimmy Ward. It's going to be a fun time. Uh, June, I believe later on in June, the 20 something of June, I've got another show in Lawrence or Clinton, South Carolina with CMW Evolution, Clinton Mills Wrestling um, Evolution, CMW Evolution. Yeah, that's it. Um, and we're doing their summer get down out in Lawrence. That'll be a good time. I still need to see a flyer for that so I can promote it. Guys, promoters, I know a bunch of you watch it. The more stuff you send to me in a direct message, the more stuff I talk about and bring here to the table on this show. Um, I'm just excited to see. I'm excited for all these shows coming up, man. It's a great time to be a wrestling fan. It's a great time to be in the business. Anybody who's telling you any different doesn't know the business enough to tell you. But it's, yep, there's a flooded market, no lie. But that's the thing. What makes you special and what makes your show different and what makes your show interesting are all the great things, all the great ingredients you need. But realistically, if you, to the guys out there that are worried about how to do this or where the money comes from or whatever else, get you some sponsors so that way the stress is off of your pocketbook and the stress is already gone. You don't have to worry about things when you got sponsors. You don't have to worry about as much when you have sponsors. You're already ahead of the curve. Okay? That's the long and short of it, ladies and gentlemen. Um, and I see I got a handful of you left in here. Anybody got anything they want to bring to the table? Any questions you want to ask? Because if not, it's going to be an early day for your boy. I'm not against it, but I just want to see what it is. Oh, Heath Mulligan, how you doing, sir? There is no in between right now. Shows are either drawing really well or really poorly. That's true, but that's kind of going with what I was saying, Mr. Mulligan. What I was getting at, sir, is that if a show, even if they draw poorly, has sponsorships, the booker is not going to be going out of business. They're not going to go belly up. That was kind of my idea with that, man. Um, and look, I could be entirely wrong. I could be 100% wrong. But the way I look at it is like this. When you're talking about a show, I'll be nice and say $1,000 for the locker room. You got your ring and your rent and all this other shit. You're talking $1,500, $2,500 invested in one show for a couple hours. That tells me that you need to have that many people in there. But if you don't have the money from them, that's irrelevant. If you're not getting paid from your sponsors, you're already crapping the bed because that means you're relying strictly on the door to get anything done. And that makes it hard. This is insanity. I can't believe I'm hearing this. Shows in Georgia putting sponsors on the posters that they don't even have. Then why the hell would you put the sponsor there? Realistically, there's different levels of sponsorship I would consider, but if they aren't contributing to you in some form, facet, or whatever, they're not a sponsor. They're a leech. Don't put them on there. That's dumb. Why would you even do that? Do you want to show that you're big time by having a sponsor? Oh, great. I could put a Ford logo on my show and just say that Ford sponsors this or Lipton. Lipton sponsors this, or Crown Royal or Stella Artois. Yeah, whatever. Who cares? The sponsors don't even know about it. That's ludicrous to me. This is stupid. Why would they do this? You'd have to explain to me why anybody thinks that would conceptually be a good idea. But man, like I said, there's a lot going on out there in the world of professional wrestling, guys. There's always great stuff to enjoy, and there's always some trash stuff that you're not going to like and have a problem with. Um, the thing of it is, don't let one show, like if you watch AEW and it makes you upset, don't let it turn you off from watching WWE if you enjoyed that product beforehand. The same goes with the indie stuff. If you don't like what you see at show A, be sure you check out shows B through Z before you pass judgment on and just say, oh no, indie wrestling is the drizzlings. Because that's not the case. There's a lot of guys out there who do a lot of great stuff. You know Cole and Shane, Jimmy, Buck did great stuff. Rollins puts on hell of matches. He's got great matches. The matches that he does, the workers he has are great talent. There's nothing against that. Um, I don't know too much about Three Count or Uprise or any of them. I haven't seen the shows, but it's just how it goes, man. There's a lot of different stuff out there. But you know what, folks? Uh, I don't want to go off on a tangent. I don't want to get too hyped up this evening. I've It's been a nice chilled day, and I plan on keeping the rest of my day the same way. So Uprise is not shut down. I just talk. Dude, look, I will get the post from Janet Ball herself. I saw it earlier today. Uprise is not shut down. She is the promoter. Janet Baldwin is the promoter for that show, and I'm gonna read this to you verbatim. Uprise Pro Wrestling LLC is still up and running for the ones saying we are not. I have no idea where you're getting your information from, but next time, before you agree with whoever's saying something, maybe you should ask the promoter or somebody who's involved with the company currently and get the correct facts. With that being said, we can't wait to see you all on June 18th. Of course, Uprise is going to run a show the same damn day. I've already got plans if I can even go to that show because my kid's birthday. So there's that. Uprise is not shut down, my friend. It's right here, plain as day. Janet Baldwin on Facebook said it right here. Um, I I was waiting for somebody to chime in with that. Trust me, she's not shut down. Um, I know CWA is coming back as well. Or C8, whatever it is. Yeah, CWA is coming back as well. Bill Hazelwood mentioned that on Tuesday. Um, but there's a lot. There's always different strokes for different folks, babe. That's how I look at life. You know, some of you may not agree with musical tastes. Everybody's got different preferences, right? Baskin Robbins has how many flavors, ladies and gentlemen? The answer's in the 30s. But that's the point. Not everybody likes the same. If everybody liked the same thing, the world would be boring as hell. Same with politics. If everybody just agreed on everything, it would suck. Can you imagine how boring the world would be if everybody liked the same thing? Nothing constructive would ever get done and nothing new would ever occur. God, that'd be lame. All right. I'm going to put it in another perspective for you, for the adults. Imagine just one position. That's all there was. That would suck, wouldn't it? Just one. That's no fun. There's nothing there. So, why would you think the same thing about pro wrestling? It doesn't work that way. Different action, different consequences, different shows, different strokes for different folks, man. I'm all about wrestling being subjective. It is. It's what you make of it. It's no different than the Bible. It's no different than a book. No different than a movie. Your favorite part, my favorite part of Endgame. Just Endgame, great movie, wonderful movie. Uh, my my like three things that I love about the movie, and I was talking to my best friend last week. Him and I were like complete opposites on what we thought was there. But the cool thing was, without my three parts, his three parts didn't work. And without his three, my three didn't work either. So it was like, there it is. That's wrestling in its own. Without this, there isn't that. If everything was good, we wouldn't know what was bad. We wouldn't know what was crap. If it was all great, we wouldn't know what bad wrestling looks like. But in this area, we all know what bad wrestling looks like. We can all go pay to see it. We also know what's great over here, or what's good over there, or what's all right here, or what's real bad down there. You know, it's it's subjective, man. I'm never gonna get off that soapbox. It's never gonna go away. But at any rate, folks, thank you guys for tuning in. I'm gonna go ahead and kill the show here. I'm gonna take it home because like it's been a long day, and I just wanna chill and enjoy the rest of my evening. But thank you guys for inviting me into your homes or cars or headphones or wherever you got me at. I greatly appreciate it. Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube. Hell, I wish MySpace was back. All that good shit. I'm on all the major platforms. You can download me on most of the podcast networks out there as well. For now, I think that's going to stop at the end of this month because I don't see the point in using podcasts when the video thing seems to work just fine and it's more fun this way for me. Um, it's also a lot less work. It's more work to do the podcast part of this. So I don't think it's viable. Um, in my situation, it's not viable. But so, with all that being said, folks, thank you yet again. It's been real. It's been fun. It's been real fun. And just stay classy, ladies and gentlemen, and enjoy professional wrestling. Get out to some indie shows where, as Bill Hazelwood would say, you're 10 feet from the ring and 5 feet from the violence. So why don't you go out there and, get the guardrail knocked into your lap a couple of times so you feel better about yourself. It's awesome. To all the guys who worked at Spring Fling Spartanburg this weekend, congratulations on your Channel 7 images. That's cool. That's great. You know, putting pro wrestling on a little bit on a pedestal, I guess, by having it on the local news. So that's a helping hand right there. But yet again, something else I didn't attend. Spring Fling. I don't do crowds like that unless I'm paid. So you guys have a good one. Those